Hey folks, Wayne Bolden, how y'all be? I'm doing wonderful. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week so far. It is Thursday as we move towards the Preakness Stakes on Saturday. We're here to do our final analysis and our picks and selections. And we're going to hold court and find out who's zooming who and how often. But before we dial in, do us a big favor. As always, you classy people, hit the red button, subscribe to our channel, ring that bell so you can get notified each and every time that we do one of these videos. We do major races throughout the nation. We analyze them each and every week. And guess what? We want you to be there. So please ring that bell and hit that red button as we get prepared to move to Saturday, the second leg of the Triple Crown. And we're going to analyze these 10 entries as we move forward towards Saturday. I don't know if we've ever handicapped or analyzed a race with so much swirling around the race emotionally for all of us as fans and obviously the people that are in the industry. But that be as it may, we still have a duty and an obligation to handicap the race, be fair about it, all emotions aside. So we want to compare the horse to themselves and see how well they've done in the past and how well we think they're going to run on Saturday. So let's just roll up our sleeve. Let's go to work like we always did, like it's a normal race, emotions aside. There's a field of 10 entered into this 146 running of the Preakness Stakes down there at Pimlico on Saturday. And of the 10, 3 of them came out of the Derby. That being said, we understand who's the favorite in the race, and I believe they have that part of it right. I really do. But let's just look at the 10 of them. This won't take long. I won't keep you long. It ain't going to cost you no money. It's going to be zero money down. We're going to have a bunch of fun. And you know what we're going to do. I ain't even going to tell y'all. I can hear y'all saying it now. We're going to stay classy. That's right. We're going to be respectful of everybody's opinion and the right that they have one. That's what we do at the channel. You people are so classy. Well, there's a field of 10, and we'll start with the number 1 horse, Ram, D. Wayne Lucas horse out of American Pharoah. And I'm baffled. I'm baffled why Ram is even in this race. We won't spend a lot of time on him. D. Wayne Lucas, you know, the coach. This horse is just too slow, y'all. He's 30-1 on the morning line. It took him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to break his maiden. He's got 1 allowance raise. He's coming off a top, and even his top is 10 lengths slower than the fastest horse in this race. So the number 1 horse, Ram, we're going to throw him directly off the ticket immediately. We're not even going to play with him. The number 2 horse, well, I don't have no problem with Keep Me in Mind. Y'all know the horse, right? Keep Me in Mind is one of the horses that is returning of the 3 out of the Derby. And Keep Me in Mind did win the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes race last year down there at Keeneland, I believe. And since then, he really hasn't been doing a bunch. He ran in the Rebel Stakes and he ran 6 behind Concert Tour, Hauser, and Bick Lake. And in April 3rd, he ran in the Bluegrass behind Essential Quality. You know that's one of the untouchables. One of the merry horses from Brad Cox. And he ran 5th. And then Keep Me in Mind had that race that everybody witnessed on the first Saturday of May. He was dead last. He's a deep closer. And we watched him pick off horses down the backstretch and make a nice run down the middle of the track on Derby Day to finish 7th. And I know everybody got high on him, including myself. I said this horse is going to actually run well. And his overall speed figures are okay. His time form numbers are okay. But The fact of the matter is, Keep Me in Mind is just too slow in here, folks. He has a lot of development. He's coming off his top effort. He's back soon. And I don't think he has enough in this race to outfinish this bunch. So the number 2 horse, we're going to do the same we did with him, with the number 1, Ram. We're going to throw Keep Me in Mind off the ticket in the win slot. Now, if you have a propensity for him or you have a weakness for him, I'm not mad at you. He is 15 to 1 on the morning line. If you want to use him in your trifectas and supers, by all means, please do. But Keep Me in Mind is not beating these horses. Okay, let me just say it again. Keep Me in Mind is not beating these horses. No more than the number 1 horse, Ram, is. All right? So, we just tossed him. The number 3 horse, well, here is your favorite. I mean, I don't have anything personally against Medina Spirit. Trained by Bob Baffert. Everybody knows the circumstances and the situation surrounding him. But the fact of the matter is, folks, he's the fastest horse in the race going in. What we do here is we analyze their races to see how well they run in the past and how well we think they're going to run in the upcoming race. And when you look at Mr. Medina Spirit, he wasn't a horrible horse in the Derby. I mean, he wasn't on my radar like that. But at a further review, in January, in the Robert B. Lewis Stakes down there at Santa Anita, he wired the field, and his time form was very nice. He beat Hot Rod Charlie. Then Mr. Medina in March at Santa Anita ran into San Felipe, and he ran second. Maybe this is the race that we should have paid attention to him, because he ran second to the stablemate Life is Good. And we all believe at some point Life is Good, trained by Bob Baffert, is going to be some kind of special horse. So he did run second in the San Felipe 2, Life is Good. If that wasn't enough, his very next race, April 3rd, at Santa Anita in the Santa Anita Derby, he ran second to Rock Your World. Now, he's been in against some very, very fast horses, and he was a runner-up to both of them, Life is Good and Rock Your World. That's pretty decent credentials going into the Derby. I didn't quite view it like that going into the Derby. And of course, you know what happened in the Derby. He went to the front. He battled with Mandaloo down the stretch. EQ, one of the merry horses, was wide, and Hot Rod Charlie ran third, and EQ ran fourth. That being said, Medina Spirit is coming off the top. His race in the Derby is his fastest race ever on all speed figures, Equibase, time form, buyers, and speed figures. He is coming off the top, and he is the fastest horse in the race going in. The closest horse to him is 2 lengths away from him, and it goes on 4, 5, and 6 lengths away. So don't get it twisted emotionally, but Medina Spirit is the fastest horse in the race going in. The question is, do he regress off the big top out of the Derby? Do he actually run that same race, what we call pairing maybe his number up, which makes him really tough still to beat? And do anybody else in the race improve? That's the question that you have before you. But Medina Spirit should be the favorite in this race, all emotions aside, just from a handicapping perspective. What are my negatives on Medina Spirit? He's back soon, 2 weeks. And I know somebody's going to comment, well, that's what happens from the Derby to the Preakness. Yeah, I get that. He's still back soon, and I like rest. He's coming off the top, which means they usually bounce or regress off of it. And 3, he's going to be short price. So this is not a great betting race at all. By no means. But let's make it clear that Medina Spirit is the fastest horse by at least 2-3 lengths to the next horse in this race. And if he runs the race that he ran in the Derby, he's going to be hard to beat. You know? So he's obviously a win contender with a 30% win probability through the database. The number 4 horse, Chad Brown's horse, Crowded Trade. Crowded Trade is out of by More Than Ready. You know, Crowded Trade really has never really done anything. He broke his maiden back there in January at Aqueduct, came back in March at Aqueduct and ran second in the Gothams behind Wayburn Nose. And then his third race in the Wood Memorial, you know, Bubonic won that race by a head over Dynamic One, the other Todd Pletcher horse, and Crowd Trade ran third. So, I mean, when you look at the number 4 horse, he has one good number back there, which came at the Gothams. I think that's what Chad is looking for. But this horse, Crowded Trade, is really lightly raced. He only got 3 starts. The only win he has to his credit is a maiden special race. And I don't know if that's good enough to beat this field. So I tossed the number 4 horse, Crowded Trade, off the ticket. I don't think he can win the race. The number 5 horse, well, I mean, needless to say, you know it's Midnight Bourbon, and that was my Derby pick. Midnight Bourbon didn't really lose anything coming out of that Derby. Of course, he had missed a break. He had broke slow and was bumped, made up some ground, and he ended up finishing 6th. So in terms of his development off of that race, it was about the same going into that race. And I don't think he lost anything, as I had said in my previous video that I wanted to see his last number coming out of the Derby. I believe he's better than his last race indicate, and the positive switch, and I don't mean that any way negative to Mike Smith, to our Irad Ortiz, I believe he'll break him closer, and I actually believe Midnight Bourbon will be sitting in the catbird seat behind Medina Spirit and the other Bob Baffert runner, Concert Tour. Now, historically, when you look at the Preakness, the way that off-the-pace horses win the race is by saving ground and cutting the corner. You can look at the 2019 Preakness War of Wills at 7-1. Yes, we cashed the ticket. He cut the corner, saved the ground, and won the race on the route. And if you look at the 2020 running, when Swiss Skydiver, that's right, McPeak and McPeak's horse, the filly, beat our horse Authentic, and Robbie Alvarado came up the inside, cut the corner, and outfinished him down the rail. So, I believe Midnight Bourbon has the best opportunity to upset Medina Spirit. I believe he'll be sitting right behind Medina Spirit and Concert Tour. And if he saves the ground, which he should, and cut the corner, I think he has a shot to maybe get in front of these horses. But he's going to have to improve, because right now he's 4 to 5 lengths slower than Medina Spirit. So he needs to save all the ground he can, and he needs to go forward in order to beat Medina Spirit in this race. The problem is we're not getting 25-1 on Midnight Bourbon. We're not. He's 5-1 on the morning line, and everybody can read the form. Everybody knows that he broke slow. Everybody knows Irad is up, and everybody knows that this horse should run better than he did in the Derby. So I don't even believe we're going to get 5-1 on him. And at that point, 7-2, he's an underlay, betting against a horse that fast up front. But by all means, of course, if I play the race, I will use Midnight Bourbon because he was my Derby pick. But I wanted to make it very, very clear here that he will need to improve. And I think the first way you do that is by saving ground. And I believe there is a young, positive jock switch with Mr. Ortiz. And that's the number 5 horse, Midnight Bourbon, trained by my guy, Mr. Asmussen. The number 6 horse, Rambauer. Rambauer, the number 6 is 12-1. Twirling Candy by Twirling Candy. Mike McCarthy. You know what? I talked a little about this horse in our preview video. And he is some kind of closer as well. His speed form figures are very, very light. He did run second in the American Pharaoh last year behind Get Her Number, trained by Pete Miller. Came out in November at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race and ran 5th in the Juvenile behind Essential Quality and Hot Rod Charlie. In February, at Golden Gate on synthetic stakes race, Rambauer won by a neck. And then, of course, in the Bluegrass, he ran 3rd. Do I think Rambauer could get a piece of this? I do. But from a speed figure, performance figure, buyer figure, he's just too slow in here, and he's coming off the top. So he's another one that I would throw out of the win hole, and I'm not considering him there. The next horse, the number 7 horse, France Go d'Inde, comes from I think it's the UAE Derby. The only thing that's positive is that he's got Joe Rosario on him. I don't like this horse. So the number 7 horse at 20-1, I'm going to throw off the ticket, particularly in the win spot. The number 8 horse is Unbridled Honor, Todd Pletcher's horse out of Honor Code. Another one with a lot of development coming off the top and is about 5 lengths slower than Medina Spirit and about 2 lengths slower than Midnight Bourbon. So we don't like the number 8 at 15-1, Unbridled Honor. The number 9 horse is another Chad Brown's horse, Risk Taking. Risk Taking is by Medagliadora, bred like all get out. Did win the Withers, which is his best race. He's a foraging horse, but even with his Withers win, he is literally 3 lengths slower than Medina Spirit. So I don't like either one of Chad Brown's horses, and I'm going to throw them out in the win spot. If you want to use them underneath, by all means, you do so. So the number 9 we threw out. The number 10 horse, well, here's Concert Tour. This horse actually has the prettiest developing line in the race. It is Bob Baffert, and I believe Bob Baffert could run 1-2 in this race. I really do. I think Concert Tour is going to improve. I think he's going to improve big. I really do. And we should expect this horse to be in the exacta or the trifactor and to give his stablemate all he can handle. So, those are the 10. Told you it wouldn't take long. So what do we know? Here's what we know. Medina Spirit, it is his race to lose. He is the horse to beat. He is the likely winner in this race. I only think there's 2 horses that have a chance. And that would be Concert Tour, the number 10 horse. And if Irad do the right thing on Midnight Bourbon, save the ground, cut the corner, and try to make up some lengths that way and improve, then he's got a shot. But right now, folks, I don't think I'm going to play the race. And if I do, it'll only be in a pick 5. I will not play the body. But I believe Medina Spirit is the horse to beat. I believe you're going to have to run and improve, and he's going to have to regress. And I believe Concert Tour will improve. And I believe Concert Tour and Bob Baffert's 2 runners could run 1-2 to the wire here, folks. But I'm going to lean a little bit towards Midnight Bourbon. So those are my 3 horses. The number 3 horse, the number 5 horse, and the number 10 horse. I believe Midnight Bourbon could get this done, but he's real slow. Medina Spirit is the horse to beat here, folks. Sorry if that bothers you. But all emotions aside. Once again, folks, Wayne Bolden from the Speed King channel. Have a great, great time. Enjoy yourself. Let me know what your picks are. Comment as always. I am gone, y'all. As always, appreciate you. Stay classy in all that you do. Let me know comment-wise what you think